The only thing that you have to do is you have to simply make, call them in your program and use them. Okay, and to be able to use them in your program, what you have to do is you have to also add the header files at the top. Yes, so you know this. In case of user defined functions, what happens is, you see, suppose, okay, I want to perform a task again and again. Say I have designed a calculator. You know the calculator, yes? What is the function of a calculator? To perform arithmetic functions, right? So in just think about the simple basic calculator. Don't think about the scientific calculator, okay? Just think about the basic calculator, which is used to perform addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. Yes. So what is the purpose of the calculator? To perform some arithmetic operations, right? Now the functions are already there. If you press the plus sign, it will do its own task. If you press the minus sign, it will do the subtraction. If you press the divide sign, it will do division. So functions are already there. Okay, now whenever you want to use it, what will you do? You will call it repeatedly again and again. Yes, so that is what we do in functions. So in case of user defined functions, what we do is, you want to perform a task again and again. So what you do is, you just design the function once. Okay, you just write the block of statement once. For example, addition, you just write it according to you. Okay, user defined functions means these functions are not available for the user. The user will have to explicitly mention them. Okay, the user will have to write their own code. It is not like the predefined functions. It is not like the predefined functions which are already defined. Okay, here you will have to write your own code. And then once you write it, okay, once you are done writing your own function, what you can do is, just like you have been using printf, scanf everywhere. Yes, printf, in case of printf, there's only one, you know there's only this is only one file, or be it the scanf, this is a single file. Yes, but when this is single function, but whenever you want to make use of them, what do? You call them repeatedly and you keep on using them. You don't write printf and scanf all the time when you use them, right? So just like that, in case of user defined functions also, whenever you feel the need, okay, you want to design a function, just design it. And then whenever you will feel the need, you can simply call that function and use it in your program. It is, just like this, just like they function, user defined functions will also function in the same manner. You design your own function. Okay, you design the entire body on your own, because they will not be defined inside the, they are not available in the C compiler, so you will have to design it on your own. And then once they are designed, just save it, and then you can go on, keep on calling them again and again as per your requirement. So that is why we use functions, to ease the task. Okay, that is with to ease the task, to reduce the code. Okay, code of lines of code, sorry. Okay. Okay. Um, okay, so we will discuss in here, we will mainly discuss about user-defined functions, because we have been using library functions on this file. Now we will be discussing user-defined functions, means those functions that the user will design on their own and will be using them in their program. Okay, so let's start. Um, See, a function can also be referred to as a method, a subroutine, or a procedure. So these are some other names for a function that can be used interchangeably. Okay, so sometimes I might refer to a function as a method, or a subroutine, or a procedure. All these means the same thing, so you do not get confused. Okay. Okay, now we will see how actually a function looks like. You know how a function looks like. You have been using the main function. That is the biggest example and the most common example that I can give you. Okay, so how does a main function look like? How do you write a main function? I'm just mentioning it here. How do you write it? You have a return type. Return type means either you will have int, yes, or you will have void. So let it be int. And then what do? You write the function name. What is the function name? It is the main function, right? And then followed by that you have the bracket. Okay, inside the bracket we leave it empty, but you can also have some argument list here. Followed by that, what do you have? I'm just mentioning it here. Followed by that, you have, So this is the main function. Just let me just write it. Okay, okay, this. And inside this, what do you have? The statement block. The statement block. Yes. So this is how your main function looks like. So this is how we write user defined functions also, or library functions also. They look like the same. Okay. All functions, be it a user defined function, be it the main function which is default, or the library functions that we're talking about, they are written in the same manner. Okay. First, we will have the return type. Return type, I told you already, return type means what will this function return. Once this function has performed its task, at the end, it will be returning some value. Okay, to that particular, you know, to whom, to the, for example, in case of main will be returning a value to the operating system. So whoever will call the function, okay, whichever will call the function, the value will be returned back to that particular function or program or whatever. Okay, so uh, here we have a return type. Return type indicates that it determines the type of value that will be returned after this function is over. Okay, followed by that we have the function name. Okay, so it's important that you have a function name, otherwise how will you call the function? Yes or no? So it is important that you have a function name to be able to call the function, to execute it. Followed by that, we have the arguments. Here, basically, we leave this empty in case of main, but in when you will look through other user-defined functions, you will see some list of some arguments inside. Okay, then followed by that, we have the parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis we have some statement block. That means some statements that will be executed. Okay, so this is what to generalize it, we have the syntax here. Okay, so how does a function look like, syntax look like? We have the return type just as in here, then we have the function name just as in here, then we have the parameter list or argument list. Okay, parameter list or argument list. Followed by that, see, we have the body of the function. So this is the function body, which will consist of some statements. Okay. Okay. So have you understood till here? Whatever I said till now, have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So once we'll start doing programs, you will have better understanding about everything. So this is just the syntax, okay? And you are not just remember one thing. When we will even if I am starting, don't think that you are doing it for the first time, because you have been using it. Okay, earlier also you have been using functions all this while. Okay, it's just that it's a separate chapter where we will be discussing about functions in more details. Okay, here we will have some detailed description, but however we have been using functions all this while. Okay, yes or no? We have been using the main function, we have been using library functions, and you know the purpose and you know the use of it. Yes. So, okay, so this is the syntax, and the syntax has been properly explained here. Okay, see, the explanation is given here. I have told already, this is the return type. So, return type specifies what type of value the function will return. Okay, suppose I have a sum function. There is no library function called sum in C. Okay, in C we do not have any library function called sum. So, if you want a function to perform addition, you will have to design it. Okay, so that will be our user defined function. So you will have to define a function called sum. Now once you have defined that function, okay, so what that sum function will return, it will return the addition, the total of whatever of whatever numbers you have added. It will simply return the total of it. Okay, so be it some integer type of data you want to add, or be it some float type of data you want to add, or be it character that you want to add, whatever you want to add. Okay, that particular function will simply do the addition, and it will return that type of value back to the calling program. Calling program means the program that will be calling that function. Okay, we will be discussing it in details, but anyways, other functions can call one, there will be other functions or the program which will be calling this function. Okay, so when once this function is called, the function will serve its purpose, the function will perform the task, and at the end the function will return a value back to them, whoever has called it. Okay, so that is what a return type is. Okay, so whatever value that function will return at the end, okay, that type we must mention at the beginning. And I told you already once, if you remember, that we don't call this data type, we call this return type, because there's a reason. Because the function is returning a value, and what type of value is it returning? Whether it's an integer type of value that is being returned, or whether it's a character type of value, yes, or whether it's a boolean value, double, long, whatever, float. So whatever value is being returned, that type will have to be mentioned here, needs to be mentioned here. Then we have the function name, okay, we have the parameter list, and then we have the function body, which consists of some statements that will perform the task. Okay, now we will look at one example here, how actually a function looks like. Okay, you see, this is one function which will be returning the maximum between two numbers. Okay, so I want to return the maximum between two numbers. The biggest maximum means the bigger of the two numbers. Okay, and for that, what I have done is I have designed a function for it. Okay, I have designed a function for it which will be returning me the biggest of two numbers. So let us see how it has been designed. Just ignore the comment section. Okay, the statements which are highlighted in maroon or red, okay, those are the comments. So these are not part of the program, these have been written just for the explanation. Okay, so just ignore that part. The rest, look at the rest of the statements here. See, this is from here the function begins. Okay, int, which is the return type, max is the name of the function, followed by that we have the argument list. Okay, we have the argument list, argument or parameter list. Okay, so we will understand what argument or parameter is. Argument or parameter means there will be some other program. Okay, there will be some other function, or there will be some other program which might need to use this function. So what they will do is they will be passing some values. Okay, suppose I want to add 2 and 3. For example, I want to add 2 and 3. Okay, then what I will do is I will call this function. Okay, I will call this max function. Now just calling this max function will not be enough, I also have to pass the values that I want to add, okay, to the function. I'll also have to pass, okay, the values that I want to add. So along with just calling the method is not enough, calling the function is not enough, along with it I will also have to pass my two values, which are 2 and 3. Okay, so 2 and 3 will be passed. So these, this num1 that you are seeing here and num2, these are the two arguments that will be holding the value that I will be passing. Okay, so when I will be passing the value 2, the first value will be held by this argument, and the second value will be held by this argument. So for now, okay, inside this function, my 2 will be represented by num1, and my 3 will be represented by num2. That means num1 and num1 and num2 are the two variables you can think of which contains my values. That is, num1 contains 2 and num2 contains 3. Okay, so when now I will be adding 2 and 3, I will be using these parameters inside. Okay, so these are what arguments or parameters are. So depending on what values you are passing, okay, what type of values you are passing, the data types must match. If I am passing, say, 2 and 3 are integer numbers, so whatever value I will be passing, these data types must match. If I want to add, say, 2.5 and 3.5, so these are float numbers. Okay, so in that case, this data types has to be float. So whatever value I will be passing to the function, okay, the type must be the same. Okay, the type must be of that value. Okay, and these are the various argument names that which will hold the values that I have passed. Okay, now let's come inside the body of the function. So it's a simple code snippet. If you can see, we have taken a third variable result inside. Okay, we have taken a third variable result, and what we will do is we will compare, because what was the basic objective of the function? To return the maximum of the two numbers, so we have to return the maximum. Okay, so what we will do is we will first compare the two numbers. Is num1 greater than num2? Okay, if the number 1 is greater than number 2, as I said, I had passed 2 and 3. Okay, 2 and 3 were my two values. So I had passed 2 and 3. Now num1 contains 2 and num2 contains 3. Okay, so I will compare these two now. Num1 greater than num2. If num1 is bigger, okay, that value will be assigned to result because it's a simple assignment statement. Okay, if num1 is the biggest number, if 2 is bigger than 3, then 2 will be assigned to result. Else, if this is wrong, this is false. In our case this is false because 2 is not greater than 3. So in that case what will happen is num2 will be assigned to the result. So what was num2? Num2 was 3. So 3 will be assigned to the result, and accordingly we will have to return the result. So just like in main function we write return 0 because we are not returning anything else from the main function. Yes, but here what you will have to return, you will have to return the result that you have obtained, right? The result that you have obtained from the after the task, after performing the task. So accordingly, so whatever result you will get, okay, so result is that variable which will hold the biggest of the two numbers. Okay, so whichever number is the biggest, that number will be assigned to result, and then finally you will be returning the result to whom? To that function or to that program that called this function. So if I'm the program which call this function, the result, the biggest of the two number, okay, it will be returned back to me. Okay, so this is how a function looks like. Have you understood,
Yes, ma'am.
everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, see, you say yes ma'am, that's a good thing. Okay, but you respond, you positively acknowledge every question, but the problem is when I ask questions you always come up with wrong answers. But whenever I ask, whenever I ask if you have understood, you always say yes ma'am, yes ma'am. Why? I've been repeatedly telling you, please start revising. If you haven't started yet, you are already too late because we have come, we have covered a lot of things now. Please start with this subject because most of you, I'm sure, are getting is get they are you are getting this paper for the first time. Okay, so it will be quite difficult for you to, you know it might be difficult for you to understand for the first time, so you need a lot of revision. So please, hmm, I hope you understand what I'm saying. At least sit for half an hour daily with this subject. Clear? Okay. um Next, see, next we will look at function declaration. Okay. Okay, function declaration that we call, say, see, so this, see, a function declaration tells the compiler about a function name and how to call the function. Okay, so when you, what is a function declaration? So you have this function, for example, you have this, okay, you have this function here. So what is a function declaration and what is the purpose? It will simply tell the compiler about the function name. Okay, when we say declare a function, it means just mention the return type of the function, mention the name of the function, and the parameter list. Okay, so this is how a function declaration looks like. That means a function declaration is very much like this, the first statement of the function that you will define. Okay, so this is your actually function definition. Just do not get confused between the two words, declaration and definition. This is your definition. You have defined your function, you have defined every step inside your function. So this is your function definition. Okay, but what is function declaration? Declaration is just the first statement and then you end the function with a semicolon, just like here. Okay, everything that you can see in the first statement, that is the function declaration, and the entire thing along with function declaration, the body, okay, the entire thing is called function definition. Okay, and what is the purpose of function declaration? It simply tells the compiler about, it informs the compiler, because the compiler need to know that the user has defined his or her own function inside the program, yes or no. Ultimately it is the compiler who will do the compilation thing. So if the compiler is not known about this, the compiler will display an error. So the compiler should know that we are using some function inside our program, user defined function. So for that, we are to tell the compiler that we will be using a function in our program whose return type is this, function name is this, and then the parameter list is this. Okay, so for example, this is just the syntax. For example, here as you can see, int max, int num1, int num2. So this is a function declaration statement. But it is also given that in case of function declaration statement, you may not mention the parameter names. You have to mention the data types. Okay, you have to mention the data types of the parameters, but it is okay if you do not mention the parameter names. That means if you do not mention num1 and num2, that will not be any problem. Okay, that will be fine. It is just that the compiler should know that we are using a maximum function whose return type is integer and whose argument list has two arguments of type int. That is what the compiler should know. What parameters, it need not know. Okay, so this is what function declaration is. Okay, and why do we need a function declaration, you say? It is required when you define a function in one source file and you call the function in another file. In such case, you should declare the function at the top of the file calling the function. So suppose you have written a program, okay, you have saved a file, say A. Okay, you have two programs, one is A and one is B. Okay, you have saved the two files separately. In one, A is one file and B is another file. Now in A, you have defined this maximum function, okay? But B is another file where you would want to use this function, which is present in the A file. So for that, you will have to declare the function at the beginning of the B file to be able to use it in your program, okay? So that is what function declaration is. Okay, so, okay, the class will end now. So we have a lab in the second half. We will continue it then. Fine. We will look at call by value. Okay, how we call functions. We will call it in. We will look at it in the next half. Okay. Okay.